I transitioned into the tax game when the real estate market crashed.
Yeah.
So it was like I had to figure something out. I'll never forget, I was like panicking and I had like 300,000. And when I looked up, I spent all the money on a rental property. Like at that time, you know, we got a seller's market, a buyer's market.
Yeah.
So of course I was in a buyer's market. So I was trying to like replace that income. And I looked up and I didn't have no money. And I had a friend that blessed me. And she had bought a franchise company and she was like, I'm telling you, you're gonna do these taxes. And I was getting excited. So I was like, I'm scared. I ain't got no experience. She was like, listen, I'm gonna show you what to do. And she showed me what to do. And my very first year, I made $178,000.
Wow.
You know what people think about the tax preparation business is that you can make a lot of money. People cannot wrap their head around how do you make money in the tax preparation industry. But a lot of times, you know, usually if you have low income to middle class families, the actual tax laws are built around those, you know, actual types of people, you know, low income to middle class. And so they're always gonna get a refund. And so when you file the actual tax return, you actually get your actual tax preparation fee. You know, when you first set up a business, you gotta know how much money do I need to make in order to replace the income? Because a lot of times people be like, when they become an entrepreneur, the first thing they want to do is quit their job. You can't quit your job. You got to really know the numbers. And a lot of people just go in, want to make money, but you got to say, hey, how much? First off, you got to market. Because I had somebody DM me the other day and said, you know, I would love for you to come to my actual, you know, new place of business. I can't remember. She's like, but you know, I don't have any money. And it's like, how you gonna get the people, you know, to your business? They forget you got to have money to market. And when you have money to market, you're gonna bring people to your business. So now it's gonna generate the money that you can make.
Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video.
So welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Listen, the global tax preparation services market is a rapidly growing industry. The market grew from $7.9 billion in 2020 to $8.1 billion in 2021 and has an annual growth rate of 3.18% projected for the United States between now and 2026. With those kind of number projections, it seems like a no-brainer to get into this tax business. Today, we have an expert in the tax preparation business to tell us how we can get in and use it as a way to earn extra income and build wealth. We have the one, the only, Miss Annetta Powell in the building.
Yes, the one and only.
The one and only.
You didn't know?
The one of one. I'm excited. I'm excited about this interview for so many different reasons, right? Because I think number one, what you have been able to do in your life, in so many other people's life, you've helped so many people start businesses. You've helped so many people, build wealth. You live a great life. You know what I'm saying? You got what 3 Rolls Royces?
Hold up, dog. Hold up. I got 2.
Look, 2.
But I'll take 3. You gonna give me one?
Excuse me.
You gonna give me one?
Two Rolls Royces, right?
Yeah.
You've made a lot of income, a lot of impact. But that wasn't always your story. Like that's not like people see the end, but they don't know what got you there, right? And so I want to get into that. I want to get into the Annetta Powell story and how she became this person that has become a multimillionaire, who's helped other people become multimillionaires. Before we get there, I want from your words, who is Annetta Powell?
Who is Annetta Powell? First off, a lot of people don't know this, but my mother and father are deaf, so they can't hear or talk. Okay, so I grew up in a home where I had to, use sign language. And a lot of people don't know that when you have deaf parents, they have a 5th grade reading level. So they rely on me to communicate with them. And growing up, we didn't have that discipline. And so I was the type that I wanted to be like that in-crowd individual. And so as I was growing up in high school, I used to sell dope, drugs.
Dope.
Drugs, yeah.
Okay.
This guy named Rollo used to give it to me. Unfortunately, he passed. And then moving on, I got caught with it. My family members caught me, told my mama, and I'll never forget, I was in the basement cutting it up, ready to hit the block. And Joyce said came down and she knew something wasn't right. And we had like this brown cabinet and she lifted it up. And it was nothing but I had like an A-bar. And so what she did was she called my family. And they was like, you know what, Annetta, we're gonna actually take this and we're gonna sell it and give you your money. I ain't seen my money to the day, okay? And so fast forward after that, I went to college. I went to high school. Yeah. And I never.
Wait, hold on. So you, what age were you when you selling dope?
I was selling dope. I was in high school. I was like a 10th grader.
So what's that like? 15, 16?
My mama did not believe in buying us materialistic things. Yeah. And do you remember when them Lotto gym shoes where I used to change the actual patch? And so my mama wouldn't buy me none, and she would like buy us all these cheap clothes at Kmart. So I was like, I gotta, I'll never forget. I was in the 9th grade because I was a freshman and I wanted some nice clothes. And my mama would not buy me no nice clothes. She went to Kmart. So I was like, I got to get some money. So, of course, it was this guy down the street. He introduced me to it. I used to work for him, and then I saved my money up. And then I went to Hudson's, right? And I spent all my money up when it was Hudson's. And I went back, and I went back and started stealing clothes. And I started boosting them because I had spent all my little drug money on my clothes. And then I started boosting them. And unfortunately, I got caught. And I went to jail, and my mama had to bond me out.
You went to jail at what age?
I was like, 9th grade, was that 16, 15?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And so fast forward, when I graduated, while I was in high school, I didn't want to go to college. A lot of times people say go to college. So what I did was I went to go work for a company known as EDS. And when I worked for EDS, I stayed there. I was an administrative assistant making $9 an hour. And then I went on to work as a material analyst at Johnson Controls. And when I used to work at Johnson Controls, I used to see like these big wigs in the big offices and they were separate. And I used to be like, ooh, I want to be a director, wear suits and all that. And then I'll never forget, I just realized that, working for somebody, you can never become a millionaire. So that's when I was like, I got to venture off. But when I was at Johnson Controls, they paid for my degree. So I did get a degree in business management eventually. Okay. But I just knew that I could never become a millionaire, and that's when I dived into real estate investing.
Okay. And then in that time between getting your college degree, becoming a real estate investor, is that when you transition into taxes?
I transitioned into the tax game when the real estate market crashed.
Yeah.
So it was like I had to figure something out. I'll never forget, I was like panicking, and I had like $300,000. And when I looked up, I spent all the money on a rental property. Like at that time, we got a seller's market, a buyer's market. Yeah. So of course I was in a buyer's market. So I was trying to like replace that income. And I looked up and I didn't have no money. And I had a friend that blessed me. And she had bought a franchise company. And she was like, I'm telling you, you're going to do these taxes. And I was getting excited. So I was like, I'm scared. I ain't got no experience. She was like, listen, I'm going to show you what to do. And she showed me what to do. And my very first year, I made $178,000.
Wow. So your first year doing taxes, $178,000. And at that moment, you just knew it. Like this is what I want to be doing, or
Yes, because I was first off, when I was in real estate and the market crashed, my money crashed. So I was like
what year is
$500,000
this?
in
Like
debt.
2008 or like what?
2009, 2010.
Gotcha. Okay.
So my money crashed, right? And so when I got into the tax industry, I was able to pay my debt off. I was paying like $100,000 off, every year. And then that like third year, I was able to pay it all off.
Yeah.
And then of course, I was in the tax industry, and then I get indicted.
Wait, you got indicted.
Indicted.
Wait, hold on.
Indicted.
Hold on.
Indicted. I'm telling you, be thinking that the feds, you're long gone. They came, it's 2008. No, 2008. No, they came and talked to me in 2008.
Yeah.
And they raided my office. And when they raided the office, they kind of went away. And then in 2011, they told my attorney in 2010 that I was going to get indicted. I was like, indict me. First they try to talk to you before the indictment. I was like, okay, do
What
what
you
y'all
indicted
do.
for?
I was for actually paying down payments for investors.
Okay.
So let's just say you purchased a house from me, right?
Yeah.
For $100,000 and you needed 20%.
Yeah.
So technically I gave you the whole 20%, but you're only supposed to give the buyer 6%. So that back then we were doing stated deals. So what happened was it was a particular guy, he was in trouble, so he told on me. So he ended up passing, and I thought I was gonna get off, but they actually were able to build a case with a paper case.
Okay, so all right, so let me get this clear, right? So you jump into the real estate game around 2008.
No, I jumped into the real estate game in 2001.
So 2001.
Yes.
You're doing your thing in real estate. Around 2008, you get an indictment.
No.
Or
2008, they just come raid.
They just raid.
Right.
Right.
And that's it. And then 2008, 9, 10, 4 years later,
Yeah.
they come and actually indict me.
Wow. And they indict you because while you're doing real estate.
Back then.
Then.
First off, let's start with the case was from 2001.
Okay.
So it was 2001. They came and talked to me in 08. I got indicted in 11.
So how did they get so, like, why did it wait so long though? So 2001 you get into real estate, and so it's illegal for an agent or an investor to give the buyer the full amount
without the actual bank knowing.
Okay.
So it's like fraud, because you got to remember the bank only knew that they thought they only gave 6%.
Gotcha.
But I actually gave them all the money.
Gotcha.
So they were basically saying, had the bank known that I gave the actual buyer all the money, they would have never funded the deal.
Got you, because technically the reason why the bank wants a seller to they want them to have skin in the game. So they're like,
yes,
we want you to have skin in the game, so we want you to put in a certain amount of money in order to give you the 80% or whatever the case may be to fund the deal. Because if you don't have skin in the game, most people will foreclose or default. So that's why the bank usually wants the client to put more than 20%.
Yes.
But these clients were coming in and you wanted to make the sale.
Yes.
And so you would give them the full 20%. They would get funded for the deal. And then so technically that's bank fraud. Somebody told on you.
Yes.
And that's how you got, that's how they came and raided your place in 2001.
Yes.
And then as they're doing the investigation or whatever the case may be, or actually they so 2008, what happened? That's when they raided you.
2008, first off, I went to prison off my paperwork. I was so organized that when they came to first off, they pulled your trash.
Yeah.
So they pulled my trash for a couple weeks. After they pulled the trash, they raided. And then pretty much, in real estate, you have HUDs. Mm-hmm. So I had the actual cashier's checks stapled to the HUDs, in the room.
Of you taking the money from your account, giving it to the client. Okay.
And so they pretty much, when they raided it, all the evidence was right there.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And so so they raided 2008.
Yes.
And then 2011, they say, all right, we have enough for an indictment.
Yes.
And they indict you. What happens
They
after
indicted
that?
me and my sister, my little baby sister.
Wow.
And usually they do that. They indict the sister, because sometimes people, your actual relative will get scared.
Yeah.
And they be looking for them to, like, if they have any evidence or something you can snitch on,
Yeah.
to try to squeeze you. But
Yeah.
she stayed tight. I'm like, just be cool.
Yeah.
And they eventually let her, after she had to do probation for 1 year,
Yeah.
but they actually let her go.
Okay.
I negotiated, like, take me, y'all let her go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then so now, from that indictment, what happens?
So from that indictment, what happens 3 years later? Oh, no. First off, I was like, listen, a lot of times people get, they get indicted, right? Mm-hmm. And they get scared. So what happened? They go broke. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I ain't about to be indicted and broke, because you got to remember, I was like trying to reinvent myself. My money had cracked. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I got to get myself together. So that's when I began to brand myself. Mm-hmm. I learned attraction marketing. So in the midst of being indicted, I'm working on branding myself, getting everything together. So I was able to open up. I started with 1 store. I opened up 5 stores. And I was really blessed, because when I turned myself in 2015, they waited. Because we had a mayor's name. We had a mayor that actually we had the same attorney. So he had to go. It took him a minute. So that bought me some time. And then after his case, I went, he worked, they started working on my case. And so after that, I was truly blessed, because my family actually, managed my money with my actual friend. And it could have been like, a lot of times people go to prison and they come home to nothing.
So you went to prison?
Yeah, I went to prison.
How many years did you in prison? 15
months.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get the timeline, right? Because I want to get the story, right? So 2001, you have this situation. You're in real estate, right? You're paying down payments for clients, which is considered bank fraud. 2008, they raid your office. They find all the evidence that they need, because you so meticulous with your paperwork. Yes. That you had it stapled. They indict you in 2011 for this bank fraud. Yes. And then in 2000, and so in the meantime, while you got indicted, real estate started to tank.
Yeah, it was tanked already.
It was tanked already.
Yeah, I had moved on to my life.
So now you moved on. You're in, you're doing taxes. First year, you do $178,000 in that first year, trying to get your life together, doing, lifestyle marketing and branding yourself.
Yes.
4 years after the indictment is when 2015. Yes. Is when you get found guilty. Did you go to court or did you go to trial?
Well, no. Okay. What happened was, a lot of times our mind played tricks on us. So I was like, I'm going to trial. Yeah. And so my attorney was like, let me really look at your case. Yeah. So he sat down, he really analyzed the case. And he had his glasses on, he put them on his nose. He was like, you're going to go to jail for a very long time. I was like, what's the best deal y'all got? Yeah. So I signed off on 33 to 41 months, because when you are actually, in the federal system, they go by points, and have you ever been in trouble? And I had a lot of people write a lot of good letters, for me, which was a blessing. Yeah. And I end up, he sentenced me to 24 months. And I end up getting out in 15 months. Wow. I went to the halfway house.
Wow. And that's a blessing, though, because, I was a banker for 15 years. And I know that bank fraud is actually like 30 years, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could actually get 30 years for bank fraud.
I know that.
Yeah. So 15 months is like a slap on the wrist.
No. When they first started off, they was like 63 to 78. And I remember sitting in the car. Yeah. I was like, Lord, you're not going to let this let this happen to me. And I just kept really praying. And, I believe in a higher power. Yeah. And it just worked out. And I didn't tell nobody. Nobody knew I was indicted. Yeah. I didn't tell my parents that I was going to prison until the day before. Wow. So I went there and told them. that I was going to jail the next day.
Wow.
Yeah, I ain't tell nobody.
And what was your and I know we're supposed to be talking about taxes, but I think this is sort of like important because I always believe that the best stories come out of what looks like a dark place, right?
Yes.
What was that experience like? Because we never really hear about what experience is like for women in prison, right? Like there's shows that and about men, and they talk about the male experience. But what was that experience like for you?
You know what? When I hear a lot of times when men go to prison, they meet a lot of successful men that actually are in federal prison with them, and they learn from them.
Yeah.
So I expected that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to prison. I'm gonna meet some really smart ladies and stuff. No, it was a lot of women in there that actually committed crimes with their significant other. So they in prison because they actually just wrote it out with the man, and they both in prison. And so prison, I mean, at the end of the day, let's be clear, prison is not a great place to be in, but I believe that, everything happened to us for a reason. Nothing is accidental. And so that at that time, right before I was going to prison, I was like, you know what? I wrote myself 100 books. I wrote them down. And when you go to prison, they give you a date and time. They're not coming to get you. And you got to turn yourself in. And I knew the date that I had to turn myself in. So I had a driver and my friend with me. And right before we were getting on the road to drop me off, I mailed the actual list. And so while I was in prison, I worked out. One thing prison will do is it will help you build habits up. And I read, and I got myself together spiritually. And you met some friends in prison, but I didn't have no good experience with the people that I met. I believe a lot of people say, and basically when you meet people in prison, sometimes you got to leave them there. And my experience with people that I met in prison, I mean, it was okay, but I had some bad experiences with them.
Yeah. Any was it scary? Any scary moments in prison that you kind of went through that kind of changed your life?
You know what? One thing I can say is when I got indicted, from the time I got indicted to the time I got home, I never had any handcuffs on myself. And I was at a camp. So, usually depending on your crime and how dangerous it is, they'll put you in maximum. I was at a low maximum. So it was no gates. 2 people ran off campus while I was there. I didn't, because I'm trying to go home.
Right.
But it was 2 gates. It was no gates. You was just free to do whatever. We woke up and we did what we did. And then at 8 o'clock, we had to come in for the day.
So when they say club fed, that's what they really mean. It's like a club.
No, when they say you going to sit down, you definitely sit down. There's nothing to do in there. It's nothing to do.
Nothing to do but read,
work
out.
That's it. And a lot of people read hood books. I didn't read hood books. And it's a lot of people in there was gay for the stay. I ain't gay for the stay. I wrote it out, you know. But it was where I was at, it wasn't bad. You know.
And so now what year did you get out?
I got out May 31st. 2016. That's the date you ain't gonna forget.
Yeah, 100%. And so now, May 31st, 2016, you get out. Do you jump right back into taxes or?
No, so first off, I always built my tax preparation business on a system. So I never did taxes. So pretty much right before I went in, I had managers. And so my sisters and one of my sisters came. She just graduated from Michigan U of M, and she came and I showed her what to do, and so she actually managed the stores. And so when I was in prison, we were making like 800, 500,000, 600, but when I was in prison, I made $835,000 that year.
Wow.
Yes, locked up.
Wow.
Tell me if God didn't bless me.
Wait. So you're telling me the power of the tax business is that if you create a structure in a business, whether you are around to run the business or not, you can still build wealth.
Absolutely. I believe that, in order to be successful, and what people have to understand is it's about getting paid off other people's efforts, right? I feel like if you working in your business, right, you still self-employed. And that's why a lot of people in the tax preparation industry, they've been doing taxes. I've not touched not one tax return. And I've been able to build an actual tax preparation, a 7-figure business, not touching taxes.
Wow.
And so, yes, you got to have managers in place. You got to have a system. And I tell people this, you cannot pay peanuts because you're going to get monkeys.
Right. And so you believe in, paying people the right thing.
Yes.
So that year you made 800 and what, 35,000?
835,000, I remember.
Sheesh. Okay, bet. So now that's motivation, right? You come home and you're like, all right. And salute to your sisters though, right? Because it's like they held it down. They could have easily been like,
my friend and my sisters, absolutely.
Salute to them, yeah.
The rental properties were still there. Yep. I mean, I just was like, it's priceless. Right. That's something that I'll never forget.
Wow.
Definitely.
Wow. And then, so now, post-incarceration, or did you get incarcerated again? But from 2016 to now,
no.
You've been good.
Yeah.
You go to church and you pray. No, I'm just playing. But
no, for real. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't understand why people continue to commit crimes after you've been to prison.
Right.
Like, come on now, you ain't learned.
Right.
Like, no, that's not for me.
Right. All right.
No.
All right. So 15 months in prison. You get back. You get out. What's your mindset? Like where are you? What's your mindset now?
When I got now?
No, when you got out.
Oh, when I got had
Yeah.
I had read, all the books, and I started diversifying my income. And so, I opened up an actual luxury transportation company. I put more money into my brand, tax preparation business. I partnered with a guy to open a dispensary. But, in all, I was like, you know what? That's great. But I went back to what I loved and what made me the money the fastest, which is taxes and real estate.
Yeah. And so through, being, incarcerated and, having, so you have a felony, right?
Yes, I do have a felony.
So does that, was there any stipulations around your ability to get back into the real estate? So like you could buy real estate for yourself? Or,
I still, yeah.
So all right, but I'm saying are there any restrictions that came with
No restrictions.
Wow.
I'm still buying and flipping. I'm just ain't giving nobody no money.
Right, exactly.
No down payments.
Right.
You gotta have your own money.
Right. And then so now you're still doing real estate, still doing a tax business. Talk to me about how and I love the backdrop of this story, right? Because most people like you said, start a business, they become self-employed, and in order for them to make money in the business, they have to be like they are the business. They have to physically work in the business. But fortunately for you, after the crash of real estate, you jump into the tax business. You're able to not only make money in the tax business, but to the point where you had a system so tight that you were incarcerated and still was able to make close to $1 million. Talk to our audience about what is that system, right? So whether it's tax, whether it's people as an entrepreneur, like what is that? How do you set up a business so that it can operate without you?
First off, you got to understand that, when you first set up a business, you got to know how much money do I need to make in order to replace the income? Because a lot of times people be like, when they become an entrepreneur, the first thing they want to do is quit their job. You can't quit your job. You got to really know the numbers. And a lot of people just go in, want to make money. But you got to say, hey, how much? First off, you got to market. Because a lot of, like, I had somebody DM me the other day and said, I would love for you to come to my actual, new place of business. I can't remember. She's like, but, I don't have any money. And it's like, how you going to get the people, to your business? They forget you got to have money to market. And when you have money to market, you're going to bring people to your business. So now it's going to generate the money that you can make. And you got to go hard. You can't go popping bottles when you get your first, 10,000.
Right.
But you got to build it out.
Yeah.
And then the more you build it out, the more you market, you will look up, you will have enough money. And now you can hire somebody to replace you. A lot of people don't think about that replacement.
Yeah.
They think, they can make $1 million. But let me tell you something. The year after I got out of prison, once I got out of prison, that particular year, we did over $1 million.
Wow.
And like I tell people, you need a team.
Yeah.
There's no way you can make $1 million by yourself.
Yeah.
You got to have a team. It's some people involved,
100%.
whether they contractors, they virtual assistants.
Yeah.
You got to have that team to bring it together to make that money. People don't understand that.
Yeah.
And that's important. People don't like to pay. They be trying to keep the money to themselves, but it's really like you're crippling yourself. You got to, spend the money, get the right employees so that you can diversify, and remove yourself out of there. Who want to be 80 years old in the tax stuff?
Right.
That ain't, no,
100%.
I'm not doing that.
100%. And that's how you scale though too, right?
Absolutely.
Because when you are, you only got 24 hours in a day. So if you have only 24 hours and you're relying on you, then you can't make, you cannot. Like the money is limited.
It's impossible.
But the more you can hire, the more you can duplicate yourself, the more money that you can keep making.
Exactly. Like now, we've done like 2 million and I ain't even stepped, I made sure I, looked over files and stuff. Cause one thing in the tax preparation space or any business, you got to keep your thumb on it.
Right.
So you got to still be aware as to what's going on with it. But to be able to not have to be there and that money work for you and you got to, pay some managers anywhere from $50,000 to $106,000 a year. It makes sense, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And now you can concentrate on something else.
Right.
So that's people miss the fact that you want to get so staffed up that you need so that you can remove yourself out of that particular business and move on to something else.
Wow, I love it. And then what was like, what did your parents say? Like once you got home and you're doing this tax business now, like what?
I bet you got to remember, I had the tax business before I left.
Yeah.
So I got it in 2009.
Yep.
And then I went in 2015, but when I got home, they was relieved. They was happy. They was like, you ain't going back there no more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, So, they were happy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, have you, are you still working with family? Is like the tax business part of what you do?
No, all my sisters got their own stores. They retired.
But they're in the tax business.
They own their own stores, but they physically work.
Got it.
I'm teaching them like you gotta step out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And then so now you're a mentor, right, to many. You've been able to build wealth for yourself. Again, making millions of dollars. And if you've transitioned, not even transitioned, but in addition to being able to build your own business, you now have a mentorship that you teach others. Talk to us a little bit about your mentorship.
First off, I believe that, a lot of times it's not about me. It's about how many people's lives you can change in the process. Yeah. But they got to want to, be able to invest in themselves. So pretty much I show people how to actually start a tax preparation business and learn the right way, because there is some wrong ways. And it's very important that you protect yourself, making sure you got the proper documents when you filing, tax preparation, when you're filing people tax returns, because you can get yourself caught up in a situation to where, you're dealing with clients, they word against your word, and then you get banned. So to prevent that, it's important that you learn, how to prepare taxes the right way and what do you need to have to protect yourself, as well as what do you need to grow and how can you grow? How can you market?
Yeah.
So definitely.
Yeah. And so in your mentorship, if I'm somebody who a lot of the people who watch the show might work a 9 to 5, might be trying to find, another stream of income. Is the tax business geared towards somebody who, already has a job and is looking for like a side hustle?
You know what? I had one particular mentor. I do free master classes. So she actually came to the free master class and she used to work at US Bank. And, she wasn't doing really well. And she kept her job and she did the tax preparation business part-time. And that her very first year, she did like 88,000.
Wow.
88,000 in 90 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you can, work part-time and then eventually you can, get into tax preparation full-time. It's really, how much work you want to put in. Anything you do, you got to be willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
But,
and what's the misconceptions about the tax business though? Because I think that to me, it feels like obvious, right? That everybody who has earned income in the United States is going to pay taxes. And everybody who has earned income needs someone to do their tax preparation. But still in all, this is not an industry that people are kind of jumping towards, right? Because there might be some misconceptions, if you will. Like, what are some things that people think about the tax preparation business that, is totally false?
you know what people think about the tax preparation business is that you can make a lot of money. People cannot wrap their head around how do you make money in a tax preparation industry. Yeah. But a lot of times, usually if you have low income to middle class families, the actual tax laws are built around those, actual types of people, low income to middle class. And so they're always going to get a refund. And so when you file the actual tax return, you actually get your actual tax preparation fee. And so for years, I didn't understand how Jackson Hewitt, H&R Block made money. And if you really look around, a lot of stores are in the urban communities.
Right, yeah.
Because, if you stay in the suburbs, they're going to go to Office Depot and get that software and plug the numbers in and, mail me my check.
Yeah.
So it's really in low income, to middle class. And so you can make money because they do get a refund. You don't have to rely on them to pay you.
Right.
It's like when you file their taxes, they have an actual refund. You can actually put in the actual invoice how much you charge, and the money goes straight to your bank account.
Wow. And so why do you think there aren't more people getting into business? Like why do you think it's something? I know it's growing, but why is it people knocking on the door like, all right, I want to do tax preparation?
I think because people don't really understand the industry. They don't understand it's lucrative for one. If I say do my taxes, a lot of people be scared to do taxes.
Right.
So they don't understand that, there's a software or there's a system in place for you to actually do taxes, and it actually calculates the numbers for you. If you can read, and you see a W-2, whatever number that's on that W-2, you actually input it into the actual software, and it will automatically populate the numbers. So people have this impression, I ain't got no experience. Right. I'm scared to mess somebody's taxes up. But that ain't the case. See,
yeah.
That's
what I think, right? Like for me, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, I ain't doing nobody's taxes, right? Because, especially me as a banker, I know that, tax laws change every year. And so I'm like, how am I going to stay up to date with tax laws, tax regulations? One year it's 6,000 pounds for a car. The next year is is 100% if the car is 6,000. It's 80% this year. In my mind, I'm thinking about keeping up with it. But I guess what you're saying is it's not really about keeping up. It's really just the software is doing the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to keep up with the tax laws, every year, the IRS require you to actually take CE classes, which is continuing education.
Got it. Okay.
So every year you're going to be updated. And then they have an IRS website. You can go to irs.gov, and they keep you updated as to the new laws and everything as well.
Right. So really, like, what would you say, right? Like right now, somebody's trying to get in. Like, what are the qualifications that somebody needs to get in? Need in order to be a tax preparer?
Nothing.
Mm.
Nothing.
High school diploma?
Well, you know what? You're nothing.
Mm.
No, you just gotta. If you just gotta be open minded.
Yeah.
Because it takes knowledge.
Yeah.
So for one, you need to be willing to commit to learn. Learning is a discipline.
Yeah.
So once you commit to say, you know what, like they want to come to the free masterclass, there you understand what the tax preparation is all about. So you got the knowledge. Now you got to develop the skill set, and once you develop the skill set and you see that it's for you, you can make money. It's a lot of people that, that actually is in the tax preparation space, that has made a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so at what point would you tell somebody, let's say that person that got that 9 to 5, they start tax preparation, they make and it's not a whole year. Is it a whole year round business?
No, 90 days.
90 days.
It's really it's really January. Well, you prep in December, but the tax preparation starts like mid-January.
Yep.
And then it's over like April 15th.
Wow.
So that's it. Like, people like make a lot of money those 3 months, and then, they can travel,
Wow.
be with their family,
Wow.
invest in themselves.
Wow. And so this sounds like the perfect structure for somebody who is looking to make more money, but still wants a level of freedom to be able to enjoy that. Because you think about like you mentioned a young lady who worked a 9 to 5, did tax preparation on the side, made $88,000. Like the average American family of 4 makes $47,000. And so to make $88,000 as a side hustle, like that's not no small thing.
But the return on investment with the tax preparation industry, like you could charge anywhere, like the average rate is $500.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do 100 people, how many is that? That's 50,000.
Yeah.
So if she did like 80 more people, what is that? That's 30,000. It's millions and millions of people.
Yeah.
129.9 million people file their taxes every year.
Wow.
So 200 people, you put the right content out there. Exactly.
Right. And so how do you market yourself and your tax business in order to gain more clients?
To gain more clients, for one, you would be really, really surprised. But just like one of the main things is just like putting flyers out, and then of course, doing pay-per-click marketing, marketing on social media, door hangers, making sure you go to those, right spots in the urban community, and putting those flyers in the right areas, to get those clients to come to you.
Yeah. And then now, have you seen a shift in your business, with social media? Because like what you just said, it's really like, direct marketing, sort of like person to person. How has your business flourished using social media?
Yes, with social media, it does really well. And what I love about, the tax preparation business, if you do really good with their taxes, you develop a relationship, with them, they'll send a, daughter, they'll send like their whole family, their whole generation doing your stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a great word of mouth kind of business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it. And then what's the turnover rate, right? Like is tax preparation, are you seeing the same clients over and over and over again?
Yeah. So, tax preparation is just like, any business. Everybody not gonna come back to you. So usually 50% to 60% of the people come back. And so that's why it's important for you to market. So you just market and you get new blood and it replenishes. But yes, there are people that have came to my tax preparation stores and still do.
Yeah.
That's been coming since the doors been open.
Wow.
December 09.
And so you have physical stores and you also have virtual.
I have physical stores, but I have an actual mentorship program that I teach people how to do taxes virtually from their home, and some people end up going into stores. But yeah,
Gotcha. How many stores do you have now?
5.
Okay, and then are they all in one state?
We're
Or?
all in one state.
Okay, gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha. Okay, and then is there an advantage on having a physical store versus doing taxes virtually?
You know what? No, because when you get started, right? Of course, you can use like spots. Starbucks, they can meet you at certain areas. You can do virtual offices, but when you eventually grow, you do want to get a store. But no, you can do all this from, especially now.
Yeah.
Like when COVID came, everybody was working from the
Right,
house, right? So no, you can you can make a lot of money from your house. You just gotta have that system.
What do your stores stay open all year round?
No.
Or so they only open
January to December to April.
And so they just stay closed.
Closed.
Wow.
Pay the rent all year round.
Wow, but it's lucrative.
Yeah, it's lucrative.
So you pay the rent all year round. So you think,
for example, $2 million, right?
Yeah.
The rent's average, $800 to $1,000 where I stay.
Yeah.
So you think about that 12. Let's just say 12 times 5, that's 60,000.
Yeah.
Payroll, anywhere from $300,000 to $400,000.
Yeah. So you're still coming out on top, profitable.
And you want to be at the same place.
Right.
A lot of times that's one thing about it, you got to be disciplined.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people get the money. A lot of people I know that's in the tax preparation industry, you wasn't making their money, but then they spend it up.
Right.
Soon as they, done with taxes. Right. And then it's like a drug.
Right.
I can't wait to tax season.
Right, exactly. Right.
So you got to put yourself in a position where, you're actually managing your money.
Right.
That's important.
Wow. And so talk to me about your free masterclass. So you got a free masterclass that you do. Talk to me about
the free masterclass. Pretty much teaching people about the tax game, like helping them understand what it's all about, how to make $100,000 in 90 days. So that's what I concentrate on in my free masterclass.
Yeah. Who's the avatar? Who's the right person for your masterclass, or like who does the best?
Who does the best?
Yeah.
Anybody that don't have no experience and scared to do taxes.
Yeah.
That's my avatar.
Yeah.
And just, want to make some extra money, want to diversify, want to be free, and, want to work 90 days and eventually want to retire, or leave their corporate job or their regular job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you said no, and to get into the tax preparation business also, there's no no restrictions.
No, there are not any restrictions. Yeah. Well, your taxes have to be current.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. But no, there are not any restrictions.
Okay. Got it. So what's next for Annetta Powell?
What's next for Annetta Powell? I just, really want to just show people how to really become successful in the tax preparation industry. You know what I noticed though? Of course, I teach people how to do real estate.
Yeah.
But the fastest transformation that I've ever seen in mentoring people has been a tax preparation business, because it's easy. You do 10 people, that's 5,000. That inspire people to say, you know what, let me keep going. Yeah. 20 people, that's 10,000.
Yeah.
It was this lady, she actually went to the masterclass, and she started her tax preparation business, and she made 5 figures in 30 days.
Wow.
In 30.
Wow.
In 30.
Wow.
She talked about it. And so it's like, if you put the work in and you execute the information, things can change for you.
And so now you've been through, you was a what do you I don't call you a dope boy. Like, what do you call
no.
Dope girl? Like, what do you call people so dope when they was coming up? Like,
you're right. I don't know what I was.
Okay.
I'm glad I learned.
Right, but you were a teenage
hot mess wannabe
dope dealer, right? Right. Now you're a hope dealer, right? But now, so dope dealer got was formerly incarcerated. If you could go back and talk to your 18-year-old self, what advice is today Annetta Powell telling 18-year-old Annetta Powell?
You know what? If I can go back to 18 years old, I would tell myself to invest in myself more.
Yeah.
Like now, when I go to events, I see younger people there.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, reading books,
Yeah.
listening to audios, attending events. Like if I would have took that school, I didn't start doing that until 2009, 10. You know, so if I can go back and just say, you know what, let me read this book. I didn't know that.
Right.
You know, I did it in 2010 because I was forced to.
Right.
You know, the real estate market crashed, you know, you're back against the wall, you trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so if I could go back, like investing in yourself is truly, truly important.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, it will transform you. Information will transform you. You need knowledge to change your situation.
Yeah.
You don't got no knowledge, where you gonna go?
Right.
You need
100%.
high skill sets to make a lot of money.
100%.
Like you see people on the internet, they be acting like you can make all this money is so fast.
Yeah.
You need skill set.
Yeah.
And that's what people fail to realize.
Yeah.
And so that's why, you know, when I first got out, I was doing all these different businesses. Like I tell people, you want to dominate. When people say, who can I go to learn how to do the tax industry? Annetta Powell.
Right.
When they say, who do you want to go to, you know, in your industry,
Yeah.
they go, your name got to pop up.
Right.
So you got to put work in.
100%. How important is mindset in, you know, being successful?
It starts off with that, like personal. Anybody that's actually looking at this actual, you know, actual thing, is mindset. Like at the end of the day, you gotta invest in personal development because I'm telling you, be some weird people talk to you and talk you out of some stuff.
Right.
And so you have to have that balance. Like I can do this. You know, sometimes when I walk, because I walk 3 or 5 miles every single day, like people be looking at me, but I be talking to myself. I be like, you got this.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, you know. So I'm by myself. Imagine people looking at me. But I be talking to myself. It's a mental thing.
Right.
Especially, you know, people look at you successful people look at me, and they think successful people don't have problems. We got problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you might not have money problems.
Right.
You can have health problems, getting a man problems,
Right.
you know, all type of problems. So we got problems in different ways. And so at the end of the day, you got to be able to deal with it mentally.
Yeah.
And if your mind is not there, man, and if you got the wrong people in your environment, like they could talk you out of some things. So, you know, you got to really take the time to understand personal development because you got to believe in yourself first.
Yeah.
A lot of times doubt creep in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I can do this, but you got to be able to control the mind. That's why you got to read it and be like, you can do this.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Yes.
What would you say, like, you know, as a multimillionaire, as somebody who, you know, not only you've built success for yourself, you're helping others create success for themselves. What would you say is the most impactful thing you've done with money so far?
The most impactful thing that I've done with money so far was, you know, every single year from I got out in 2016, during the holidays, you know, during Christmas, I give back to the actual women that's at the halfway house. So every year with my money, like even though we got a 501c3, you know, I use my money to give back to them because, you know, when I was in the actual halfway house, you know, I was able to get a car. It didn't take me that long to bounce back. But you got people that did 10 years, they don't even got, you know, no clothes. They coming home to nothing.
Right.
You know, a fresh start. It's a little scary
Right.
versus you having something when you come home versus you ain't having nothing.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times, sometimes people go to a prison and they think, you know, somebody owe you something. Nobody owe you nothing.
Right.
You got to get out there and get it.
Right.
So I like to give them a boost, you know, and help the actual halfway house donate. And, you know, people be really happy.
Yeah, no, I love that. What advice are you giving to formerly incarcerated men and women about success? So I recently started a nonprofit organization called Abundance Code, right? Creating opportunity despite the environment. And one thing that I realized, I guess, you know, I've never been incarcerated, but I've, you know, grew up in a neighborhood where most of my friends have been incarcerated. I've, you know, been on jail visits and that type of thing. When I became an author in 2009, I used to write for Don Diva magazine, and so I had a column called Ask Ash Cash in 2010, I think 2011. So a lot of my books and stuff are in the federal and state penitentiary. And so I used to get letters from a lot of people, which, they talk about how I inspired them through my books and things of that nature. And the one thing I realized is that I wanted to start this nonprofit because I feel like a lot of formerly incarcerated men and women don't realize how powerful they are. They think because they have this, this record that they, they can't do things, right? Like they don't realize that how they were successful in the street is the same sort of way that you could take that same energy and put it into something legal and really just kind of blow it out the water, right? And so what advice would you give to somebody who maybe just coming home, maybe, feeling defeated, maybe trying to get a job and they think that, jobs are the only way, but they got the will, but from an energy perspective, they just kind of feel a little defeated. What advice would you give them to kind of get to that next level?
The reason why they feel defeated is because people don't understand, like, to really tie together and to get to that next level, you got to be able to think outside the box. So you got to gain some knowledge.
Yeah.
There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, people be like, yeah, I went to prison. Like that's the first thing we do is, I got to get a job.
Yeah.
That's temporary. But at the end of the day, what's for you is what's for you. What was for me is for me.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that you need skill set. And a lot of times people get out and they revert back to the same thing and they get locked up because they too lazy to understand that I need some new knowledge. Yeah. Let me go to this event. Let me figure it out. Let me figure out what I want to do and be passionate and consistent and focus on it. And it will transform. See, a lot of times people want success really fast. Pop it in the microwave, snap, crackle, pop. It don't work that way. Yeah. And when you come home, it's going to be a little hard, especially if you don't have nothing. Yeah. That's why you need knowledge. That's why you got to connect with the right people. That's why you got to show up to events. You got to make that sacrifice into yourself. It starts with you. Nobody owe you nothing. Right. And that's what a lot of times people come home and they feel defeated. You defeated because you need knowledge. Right. Like knowledge has changed my situation from $9 to 40, to making 6 figures to 7 figures. It all started with knowledge. Yeah. Getting that and executing. Yeah. Because we got information junkies. Yeah. That say I'm gonna do it, but if you just execute it. Yeah. America is the best country to be in because people don't understand it's freedom. Right. Like you could do what you want to do. You ain't got to do no crap. Listen, it's so many ways to get money out here. Nobody should be doing crimes right now.
100%.
I'm sorry, for real. Yeah. People going on the internet making money. Right. You just got to do the right thing. Like there's no way around success without getting some knowledge. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so if I hear you correct, it's, somebody, first step, gain some knowledge.
Pick a book up. On what you want to learn. Yeah. Because a lot of times people be like, can you teach me? No. Read and see if this is something you want to do. Right. People look at other people and be like, oh, yeah. Oh, they success. I know I can do it. No, you got to make sure this is something you want to do. Right. People call me, I want to learn how to do taxes, or I want to learn how to do real estate. Okay, did you read about it? Right. No. Right. They see people successful, but see if this is something you want to do. Yeah. See if you're willing to put the work that's necessary to be successful. Yeah. That's what people fail to realize. Yeah, and then mentorship. What's your thoughts on mentorship? My thoughts on mentorship. I mean, of course, me and you we share one of the same mentorships, and we both invested $155,000. My first time, I actually, ran a play. I did $467,000. Yeah. So I don't look at price no more. Yeah. You look at value. Right. Because had I let that $155,000 get in the way, I would have never met that individual that would have showed me how to run a play for $467,000. Right, 100%. So at the end of the day, people receive free. People don't respect free. Not at all. They don't. Yeah. And they be like, can you mentor? I want you to mentor me. Listen, at the end of the day, you got to pay to play. Right. And I tell people this, either you're going to have to pay for not knowing or you're going to have to pay to learn. Which battle we choosing? That's a fact. You got to pick your battle. That's a fact. Need a transaction to make a transformation. There we go. There we go. Look, Miss Annetta Powell, it was great learning about your story and really just kind of seeing that, I think
I think, and I didn't know that about your story, and I think that it's a great tie-in because a lot of times people are so enamored with being an entrepreneur, starting a business, but they don't realize that they're self-employed. And so even though it is and I wouldn't even call it a tragic story because everything happens for a reason. So even though it's a story of you being incarcerated, but the silver lining is that even while you were incarcerated, you've made a lot of money, right? And like $835,000, that's inspiration in itself, right? So for y'all watching, that's inspiration. If you're not hurrying up, hitting the link in the description, joining Annetta's free masterclass, then you are missing out because the structure that she's going to teach you, right? This is a triumph story. This is a story of somebody who's going to teach you a structure that does not involve you. All you got to do is learn it. I mean, it involves you eventually, but it involves you in the beginning. But eventually, when you set up the systems the right way, the business is not gonna need you because it's the business. So if people want to join the masterclass, where can they find it?
They can go to teachmethetaxgame.com.
All right, y'all. www.teachmethetaxgame.com. Connect with Miss Annetta Powell. And if they wanted to connect with you online, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Annetta Powell.
All right, y'all. ANNETTA POWELL, y'all. Annetta Powell. It's been a pleasure. All right, y'all. So we are closing out the vault. Another powerful episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault, and make sure you subscribe to us. Go to www.insidethevaulttv.com. Matter of fact, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to tell 10 friends to go to subscribe to us. Thank you, all of our insiders, for keeping us a top 200 podcast, not just in the U.S., but in 26 countries. We greatly appreciate you. I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at I am Ash Cash, and make sure you join us inside of the Abundance community. We got some behind the scenes footage, some gems that Annetta didn't even drop on the show. So behind the scenes, I need you to go to abundancecommunity.org and join the Abundance community, because why? Abundance is your birthright. All right, y'all. Appreciate you. I will see you next time, same place, in God's will. Peace.